All right, guys, we're back for a brand new video. Now, this video is a bit of a different one. If you're looking for tangible strategies to grow your agency, I've got a bunch of videos on my channel on that. You can watch those instead of this one, because this one is all about mindset, powerful mindsets, powerful modes of thinking to have success with your agency. Now, I'm guessing if you click on this video, you probably know the value of mindsets, but one of the things that I think is very worth learning and ingraining in your brain is the fact that, look, the tangible strategies and the hacks and the tips, they are definitely very important. If you don't have the right roadmap, then you're never gonna get to your destination. However, if you don't have the right mindsets, if you don't have the right modes of thinking, then you're really going to struggle to have success with your agency, because I hate to break it to you, but there are gonna be times where you feel like giving up. There are gonna be roadblocks, mental roadblocks that you're gonna have to overcome. And it's the strength right here that are gonna allow you to achieve that. And so in this video, I'm gonna cover 3 powerful mindsets that have allowed me to scale my agency to 100K per month plus in just a few short years at the age of 22. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first mindset is challenging the conventional. And each mindset, I'm gonna break it down into subsequent parts, simply because I don't wanna stay on the surface level, cliche quotes type of thing. But essentially, I've broken it down into 2 parts, right? So challenging the conventional comes down to the macro, right? Challenging the macro conventions and the micro conventions. And so on the macro level, on the big level, we've got, for example, society's plan for you. And again, might sound a bit cliche, but the typical path that society pushes us down is, get good grades, get into a good uni, go ahead and get a degree, go get a job, and then work at this job for 50 plus years, have a wife, 2 kids, a dog, and that's pretty much it, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that life. Some people may be very happy with that life, and really, if that makes you happy, do that, right? But my point is, when I started challenging these conventions, why do I have to work 50 plus years to have any sort of financial stability? Why can I not do that in my 30s, right? Why do I have to be locked in a desk for 50 plus years? Why can I not just have full control of my schedule? And if I want to work 10 hours a day, I'll do that, maybe in my 20s, right? Or maybe in my 30s if I want to, right? But have complete freedom of time and location. And that was really the first step to becoming more awake, right? To the fact that there's so much potential and there's so much possibility out there, outside of the convention. The second thing that I challenge, that I think is just so incredibly ingrained in us, right, is our earning potential. I think in society, and this benefits businesses a lot, right? But in society, you're led to believe that a really good salary for maybe a college graduate is 2, 3, 4K per month, right? And that 6-figure income maybe will come when you're in your 30s, and maybe the max you'll ever earn is like 150K per year, and that's if you have a really solid job, right? Again, these numbers are just from my personal experience, from what I've heard, and also from what I've seen from friends, family, colleagues, peers, etc., right? And so one of the things that I started challenging is, why not make 10K a month or 100K per month? Who sets these standards? And the problem with these standards is that they're so ingrained in us that then we have a lot of limiting beliefs around money. Overcoming these conventions really manifested, at least for me, when pricing my services. So I would underprice myself because my view of money, right, my view of what someone regular gets paid was really low. And so at first I thought that 10K a month was this huge figure, and that was only worthy of the people who've worked at something for 10 plus years, right? But when you realize that money is just in direct correlation to the value you provide, and if you're valuable, right? If you're really valuable to someone, they'll pay you that money very gladly. Then you start realizing that money is just value, right? And that you're very able to make 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month, even 100K per month, which is pretty absurd at 22, right? And so when you start challenging the earning potential, and you realize that 10K a month, and I don't want to sound entitled or anything, but 10K a month it's not really a huge figure, and that you're capable of so much more. When you realize this, things start to really change. And the final thing that I started to challenge in the macro, and related to the final point, is actually my potential. For the most part, we sell ourselves really, really short, okay? And that is why when you're starting out, it's completely fine and it's completely normal to feel kind of like an imposter, right? Because you don't feel like you should be earning this type of money, right? But again, money is just a direct correlation to the value you bring people. But my point is, when you start challenging society's conventions, right, and the conventional, you realize that you have so much potential. And of course, at first, you just have to get a few small wins to really believe in the potential that you do have. But once you realize that you can pretty much do anything that you set your mind to, especially something like building an agency and getting it to 100K per month, it's a very powerful mindset to have. So that's a bit about the macro, the big picture, right? On the smaller picture, on the more, SMMA and agency specific picture, I also challenge a lot of the conventions within this space. For example, I challenged the traditional model, which was servicing local businesses and going for maybe local businesses first and maybe transition into e-commerce first. I said, nope, let me just go into e-commerce. Let me just, become one of the leading e-commerce agencies in the world. Let me learn everything that has to be learned about e-commerce. And let me build a widely profitable e-commerce incubator. And that's what I did. Right? I also, for example, challenged the people in the space. And by the way, no animosity or anything like that. It's just fun. But I also challenged the conception that it was really, that is pretty much nearly impossible to get to 100K per month without paid ads, right? Without running ads to your agency or whatever. And what I did is I've split tested everything. I've tested everything myself. I've run ads for my agency. I've tried every single outreach method. I've designed various different sales funnels. And I realized that it's more than possible to get to 100K per month profit without any ads, right? Am I saying that ads is not the way to go? No, right? But is it possible to get there without ads or without investing, 3, 5, 10K into ads every single month? Yes. And so that's that for the micro. And this is the first very powerful mindset that really helped me get to that 100K per month mark, challenging the conventions, thinking for myself, seeing the world through my own eyes, and testing and questioning everything that I've been told from a very young age. So very powerful mindset. And with that being said, let's get right into the second one. So the second extremely powerful mindset that allowed me to hit 100K per month is falling in love with the game and committing to mastery. Let me explain what I mean by this. Look, one of the things that I can tell you from experience, because I've made this mistake myself, is it feels pretty miserable when you obsess over the goal itself. And the reason why that is because number one, you're focusing on the wrong thing. If you just focus on the goal and you take your eye off the actual process, then you don't focus on the marginal gains you should be making every day to get to that goal. Number two, anything that is not that goal is bad, right? So frustration builds up, and operating out of frustration is a really bad place to operate from, right? You jump on a sales call with a prospect for your agency, and that frustration comes across, that scarcity and that attachment to the outcome comes across, and it really puts you in a very weak position. And so the change that I made, and this was so incredibly powerful, the change that I made was seeing every single marginal gain, every single sign of progress every single day as me getting closer to that goal. Because what's crazy is, and you don't realize this when you're stuck in the trenches, but what's crazy is every time you jump on a goal and you get a no, right? And you analyze that goal and you make changes, you're actually closer to your goal. Sure, maybe that is not a client signed and you're looking to get to the 10K a month mark. What you need to understand is that goal, right? The mistakes that you're not gonna make on the next goal, that is actually getting you closer to the 10K month mark, right? So yes, the actual client signing hasn't manifested, the money in the bank account may not have manifested, but you're definitely closer to that goal, right? And that also speaks about the 3 feet from gold concept. I'm sure you guys have seen the typical picture of this one right here, which is the 3 feet from gold concept. People don't understand that if you're making progress every single day, if you're chipping away at that cave, right, you're actually getting closer to that diamond. Just because you haven't found the diamond does not mean you're not making progress or you're not reaching success or you're not on your way to success, right? So understand that a key metric for success when you're beginning and when you're starting your agency, when you're starting anything, is making progress every single day, because that is only getting you closer to success, and you're not going to be frustrated by the fact that you're not getting this goal, and this frustration is not going to build up, and you just enjoy the process and you commit to mastery. So that is the second powerful mindset. And the next powerful mindset is realizing that smashing the like button really helps out a ton with the algorithm and the whole channel, and I'd really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's get right into the third mindset. Third very powerful mindset is all about playing the long term. Look, I'm not saying it's going to take a year or 2 years to sign your first client or get to the 10K month mark, right? I see my mentees getting to the 10K month mark in around 3 to 6 months. I got to that mark in around 5-6 months as well. And I've talked about my journey already on my channel in my previous videos. But my point is, if you cannot commit to this thing at hand, if you cannot commit to making your agency successful for at least a year, then you don't have the patience in the first place to be successful with it, right? And so tell yourself, look, I'm going to commit to this for a year, right? What is a year in the grand scheme of things? Most people commit 3, 4, 5 years of their life to a college degree that doesn't really serve them for much. What's a year in the grand scheme of things, especially investing into something that could literally transform your life like it's done for me and plenty of my mentees? My point is, you need to ask yourself, would I commit to this for a whole year, even if I don't sign a client within that whole year, right? Would I still chip away at it? And I'm not saying that's going to be the case, right? If you have a clear roadmap, if you know exactly what you're doing when it comes to growing your e-com agency and signing clients, and you have an automated sales funnel, it will take way less than that, right? But that question is incredibly important to ask yourself, because if you don't have what it takes to commit to something for a year, then you're probably not going to have the patience to be successful with building a business. And the final thing I'll say on this point of playing the long term is the fact that when you're starting out, look not so much to optimize for the biggest bag and having the largest number in the bank account as possible, but optimize for experience, optimize for volume, right? Get as much experience, get as many clients under the through the door and under your belt as possible. Maybe you underprice yourself a little bit, or maybe you understand that you don't have much leverage, so you have an insanely irresistible offer for these people. Look not so much to make as much money on the front end, but look at the longevity of that partnership, and also look at the insanely valuable experience you're going to gain from these people, as well as the authority you're going to gain from working with these brands. Honestly, when you have 1, 2, 3 clients under your belt, right? Now it's so much easier to grow your agency. And in your second year, third year, fourth year of building an agency, it just gets incredibly effortless. So those are the 3 incredibly powerful mindsets that allow me to scale to 100K plus per month. A figure that I thought at first was unattainable, but these powerful mindsets allowed me to really ride the unpredictable waves of the entrepreneurial journey and really make it a whole lot of fun. So I appreciate you for getting to this point of the video. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button. Also, if you're not yet subscribed, which is around 50% of you, go ahead and smash the like button and hit the little bell icon so you never miss an update. And the final thing is, if you want to know how to sign and keep 4-figure clients, I've got a free training for you. There's nothing for sale on this free training, just pure value, but don't take my word for it. There's a link to it in the description. So with that being said, hope everything's gone well in your journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.